programme. We take a look at deaths in police custody in Manchester. It's Children's Mental Health Awareness Week. We look at the link between child stress and sleep.
You shouldn't have screen time before bed. It's tiring, more tiring for them to watch that. It can cause problems, like when you try and get them off it.
And Chinese New Year preparations are underway, including a larger-than-life pig. Good afternoon, I'm Annie Thomas and welcome to Quays News. The time is 3:30. The first in a series of talks was held at the weekend to raise awareness of deaths in police custody in Manchester. An inquest revealed that there have been over 1,600 deaths of civilians since 1990. Josie Klein reports.
Janet lost her brother Christopher 21 years ago. Christopher was assaulted at a nightclub and then taken to hospital where he was arrested after arguing with a police officer. Upon arrival at the police station, Christopher was found unresponsive. He was dragged into a custody suite and left lying face down in a pool of his own blood. During Christopher's last moments, CCTV footage heard police officers trying to invent a story as to what offences they could charge Christopher with, whilst racially abusing him. Christopher then died.
Don't believe anything that they just tell you. They make out as ordinary people that are, doing crimes, this, that and the other. When it comes to the police, no. There's no justice in this country. There's none whatsoever.
The four ladies here, described by one audience member as warrior women, led ordinary lives before tragedy struck their families.
My brother died in 2017. Mark Cole, he was tasered during a mental health crisis, and we have an impending inquest proceeding. It's important that the families get a chance to speak about their own perspectives and to raise awareness of deaths in police custody.
For me, this event offers the opportunity for the community and interested individuals to gain more information, but also for us to begin to build strategies, ways of moving this forward, and ultimately how we can move towards positions of change.
The money raised at these events will be put towards funding future projects in an effort to raise awareness of the growing issue and hopefully to bring other families justice. The talk ended on a note of positivity and hope for the future.
Josie Klein, Quays News, Moss Side.
It's Children's Mental Health Week and this year it's all about a good night's sleep. Reporter Sophie Reaper has been finding out more.
Waking up tired and stressed? This week marks the annual Children's Mental Health Awareness Week, and this time the research is all about sleep.
Children's mental health charity Place to Be suggests that 56% of children and young people worry all the time, and those that do not get enough sleep are the most likely to experience this. Speaking with independent sleep expert Dr. Neil Stanley, he gave recommendations for the amount of sleep required by different age groups. Any child aged 10 and under requires at least 10 hours sleep per day, whilst the optimum for any young person 11 plus is 9 hours a night. Dr. Stanley believes that a child getting a proper night's sleep isn't rocket science, but that if it's not handled properly, it can become a vicious circle. Mum of two, Natasha Entwistle, spoke of how she handles the bedtime of her two young children.
A typical bedtime routine would be for them to both go and get the jams on, then they would brush their teeth, then Logan would usually read Lucy a story, and then they'll both go to bed. They go to bed at 7:30, 8 o'clock and wake up at 7:30, 8 o'clock the day after. They shouldn't have screen time before bed. It's tiring, more tiring for them to watch that. It can cause problems, like when you try and get them off it, you can have arguments because they don't want to come off it.
67% of parents blame screens for their children's poor sleeping, and it is this that can lead to unnecessary stress and worry.
It's very important for children because it's the beginning of their life. If they don't have that, then later on down the track it can lead to not terrible things, but unfortunate things.
Children's Mental Health Week will take place across Great Britain until Sunday. Sophie Reaper for Quays News.
Still to come. We check in on Manchester's Chinese New Year preparations and look at why Leonardo da Vinci has been making quite an impression in Manchester. So now, yesterday marked the start of the Chinese New Year, but in Manchester, many events have been scheduled throughout the week. A dragon parade, a street food market, and in St Anne's Square, a larger-than-life piglet. William Vincent reports.
For many of us, we're well into 2019, but in the city of Manchester, the Year of the Pig celebrations have just begun, and one artist has decided to take those festivities to new heights. UK artist Alex Rinsler has created the installation Piglet, a giant baby pig that's to be displayed in St Anne's Square from the 5th to the 10th of February.
The piglet is still a work in progress, but will soon boast a coat of thousands of pennies to bring good luck into the new year. Visitors can contribute their own pennies in piggy banks situated around the sculpture.
Alex Rinsler's previous work includes a giant fox at London's South Bank Centre and a straw squirrel in Kazakhstan. He explained what he hopes his superstructure will bring to Manchester.
I was approached to make something for Chinese New Year and wanted to do something to bring together Chinese and British traditions. It's a real honour to have been asked. The Chinese community in Manchester has a long and glorious tradition. I think it's great that Cityco and that Manchester Bids, which represents the 400 retailers in the city centre, I think it's great that they invest in the environment that will attract people to come and to feel like the city centre is theirs.
And where does the money of that go for?
So that will be split between the Big Change Manchester and the Wei Yin Society, a large charity within the Chinese community here, and that's going to support Manchester's most vulnerable residents. I think that's a good way of welcoming everyone to a new year.
Piglet, along with many other Chinese New Year events this week, will be sure to bring Manchester through the gateway into 2019. This is William Vincent, Quays News.
It's been 500 years since the death of the artist Da Vinci. To celebrate this, Manchester Art Gallery is hosting an exhibition of the Renaissance painter's work, along with 12 other museums around the country. James Ross went to the gallery to find out more.
Genius, inspirational and one of a kind. These are the words used to describe Leonardo da Vinci. For the next 4 months, you can view a selection of the Italian painter's work here at Manchester Art Gallery.
Leonardo da Vinci, in a way, is a name that doesn't need any explanation. Everybody has heard of him. And of course, he's really famous for his paintings, the Mona Lisa, the Last Supper. They are, some of the most important paintings in the whole world. And it's been organised by the Royal Collection. So this is the Queen's collection. And the curator there was really interested in commemorating Leonardo's death. It's the 500th anniversary of his death by really putting on the most ambitious project. So half the population in the UK will be within an hour's drive of some Leonardo drawings. And what we have actually is a huge number of drawings because he was not only an artist but a scientist.
These drawings are being described as Leonardo's laboratory. All the pieces have been selected to show a full range of Da Vinci's interests and reflect his passions for architecture, music, anatomy, engineering and geography. And
Leonardo was really looking at the sort of idealised form, the perfection that he could achieve. Today we have, you're either an artist or you're a scientist. You can't be both arts and science. And actually, in Renaissance times there wasn't that distinction, and he was both.
The people of Manchester can now come and witness the Renaissance artist drawings free of charge until it's moved to Buckingham Palace Gallery for the end of the exhibition. This is James Ross reporting for Quays News here outside Manchester Art Gallery.
Well, I for one can't wait to see that exhibition. But on other news, today marks the 61st anniversary of the Munich air disaster. A plane carrying the Manchester United football team, as well as fans and journalists, crashed, killing 23 people. A memorial service was held earlier today at Old Trafford. That's all from us this week on Quays News. Keep up to date with all our latest news on Facebook and Twitter at Quays News. And to keep up to date on all things Salford, check out our website, salfordnow.co.uk. Quays News will be back next week, but it's goodbye for now, and thank you for watching.